Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I just want to keep sharing some of my personal journey in the last 5 years. In the last video, I was sharing about how my romantic life partner passed away January 2021. And just, being open about the journey of grief and how difficult that is. And it can show up in ways that, we don't expect, and at times that we're not planning on, just to let us know that it's still in progress and still being worked on. But, time does heal. And of course, it heals a lot quicker if we're willing to do the work and self-reflect. And I employ a lot of tools. So I'm a hypnotherapist, and I've, gone down many rabbit holes of energy healing, different tools and ways to clear, not only what's in what we're thinking of consciously, but what's in our subconscious mind, and how that then gets into our neurology, our fascia, our whole body. So clearing on every level. And, whenever something would show up, then I would clear it. I don't really want to sit in misery or discomfort. So I'm pretty proactive with keeping myself clear. Okay, now, but continuing with my journey, it wasn't just the grief. It was kind of a series of unfortunate events that unfolded after that, like a domino effect. Not, not like logically related, perhaps, but energetically maybe. And I don't claim to know everything. I don't know if this was like a karmic cycle, and it was just time for me to be faced with these things that I needed to clear. And I do believe in past lives. And so, it could have even been stuff from, beyond this lifetime, but I certainly have plenty in this lifetime to clear too. So anyway, as I was still, grieving and healing from the loss of my lover, I was worried about, I had a little bit of money and I wanted to invest it and try to be smart with it. Well, I had a pattern, a subconscious pattern, something in my energy field that, and this is played out actually long before this, it started, where I just make bad investments and they always blow up in my face. And it's almost like even if things are going well with this person that I invest with before I get involved, the minute that I get involved, everything goes south and tanks. So it becomes apparent after a while, like, okay, it's me. There's something, like I'm consciously blowing it up, but something in my subconscious or energy field that's attracting this pattern over and over again. And that was something that had happened or started long before 2021. So, my family unspoken agreement, you might want to say, was we work hard and we get by. And so, yeah, I mean, none of us were homeless or, got our electricity turned off or anything like that. But our family, like I said, almost like an unspoken agreement, was that we work hard and we just get by. And nobody lives large. Nobody's like super successful. And so I could see this, but that didn't mean I had the tools or the ability to kind of like crack the code on how to actually shift it. Now, when this happened it was kind of, I think I got involved with this investment person like end of 2021. But then it continued to just spiral downhill over the next year and a half or two. And it was an awful journey because I wasn't able to see it from that objective perspective at all. Like I was in it. I lost a significant amount of money, certainly a lot of money to me. And it was a very painful journey because not only was it just losing the money, this man, I would say gentleman, but I'm not sure if he qualifies. But this man displayed some very odd behavior, very lack of transparency, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of misleading. And, I'm not even sure how much, he's fully, like just a bad guy. Let's put it that way. So he said himself that he was autistic. And I didn't know anything about that. And so I really didn't research it. But since then, I've had a couple of other encounters with people that displayed some of those same, different, neurodivergent, as they say. And so one of the things with autistic people, high functioning, is that because they don't read social cues and stuff the way that what we would say neurotypicals do, growing up, they face a lot of teasing, maybe bullying, and they kind of start figuring out that they are different. And so then in order to get along, they start doing something that's called masking, which means, it's kind of like acting, really. They study like, what are the facial expressions supposed to look like? How, am I supposed to act in this situation, respond? And they kind of study neurotypicals to, figure out how to look normal and blend in, which is understandable. That's a survival mechanism. But I think that this man had that, but he also had some narcissistic tendencies. And so just a very interesting journey, but he kind of just slowly withdrew more and more to where the people who had invested with him did not have access to him, could not get information from him. He would do like these drops, but they were generic and just like the conversation was only one way. Like he would occasionally give us a little bit of information, but we could never have access or get any questions answered. And then it just kind of went on, and more promises and more empty promises and more broken promises. And my nervous system was wrecked. I'm not a terribly fearful person when it comes to health or safety even. I'm able to like trust my higher power when it comes to those areas, but there was something about this money situation and just the lies and the gaslighting that really triggered me. I was waking up in the middle of the night like in a cold sweat. It was crazy. And it took a long time because of the amount of money I invested and just the way it unfolded. It took a really long time to just accept I'm never getting my money back. Like this is going nowhere. And that was difficult for me. It was very, very difficult for me. I did not handle it well. And even though I'd been on my journey, for years, I mean, I got out of nursing 2011 or 12, and I've been a full-time hypnotherapist, and, I've gotten a ton of work done on myself, and I've really been proactive and aggressive with clearing anything in my consciousness that's interfering with my peace or my overall well-being. But this was something that apparently I hadn't come up, hadn't been time to deal with this before. And I like to tell my clients that sometimes the best gifts come in the worst packages, meaning if there's something you really need to heal and clear, and your higher self is like, yep, we're going to deal with this, then the way, the universe, God, higher self has to get our attention sometimes is through pain, because, if we were sitting on the beach just drinking Mai Tais, will we really be motivated to evolve and grow? Probably not, right? But pain motivates us to change and to get healing. So, 21 to 25, I don't care to redo those years. Because of course, then right when I finally just accepted, like, this is not going to get better, but I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, take my lumps, but at least I had my business. And then my business kind of just like dried up, nothing happened specifically, but it just really seemed like I went from having, enough clients to, keep the lights on, so to speak, to just barely having any clients, and nothing had really changed that I was aware of. So it's hard, and also, when you're used to being in a relationship and now you're alone and you've made this terrible financial decision, and, everything is looking pretty dark and you don't have a support system anymore. It's hard, and it's also hard not knowing what you don't know. Like, because of my, I had enough awareness. They say like a little bit of knowledge can be a dangerous thing, right? It's like you know enough to see the problem, but you don't know enough to fix the problem. So I could see like, well, this is obviously a pattern that I make bad investments, like I can make, money if I work hard, but I'm not allowed, it felt like, to make what one might call easy money or just passive income. And so I could see the pattern, but I'm like, but I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know how to change it. And that can really be frustrating. So if you're on, if you're anywhere in your journey of manifestation or law of attraction, and people are saying, well, just do affirmations or just do this or just, know it's done. You're like, yeah, but it's not done. And I'm feeling anxiety and it's really hard. And it is hard. And so have compassion for yourself and don't let anybody's, diminish the reality of your journey. You can overcome it. Things can change. You can crack the code. You can clear out the things that you can't see with your conscious mind. But it is a journey, you know, and we get to have compassion for ourselves. And I got to learn a lot of compassion for myself over the last few years because it was not fun and not easy. And, next video, I'll talk about a couple of other experiences I had with people coming up into my awareness. And wow, I've been in, like, I feel like I was in the master's program or maybe the doctorate program of consciousness the last few years. So anyway, if you have had any experiences like this, if you feel alone on your journey, please drop a comment. I'm here to support you. I'll also leave a link to my school for authentic relationships, because if there's one thing I've really gotten clear about, what really matters to me is the people in my life, is the relationships with other souls on their journey and being here to support each other. So that's what it's all about to me. And I would love you to join, not necessarily my school, but, even if it's just commenting here, and let's support each other. Hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.